Alright, what's up my people? In today's video we are going to be gathering intel on something a bit crazy. And you've probably heard about it. It is the Lonestar fucking tick. Now, what is the Lonestar tick? We are going to be finding out. But what I do have to say is this video is going to be a bit dark. I'm going to say some shit, and I don't care if you agree or not agree, but I hope you do, because this is my channel and I'm going to be spreading the truth. That's my plan. So yeah, today's video is going to be a bit dark. So yeah, let me get my hoodie up so we're prepared to dive into this conspiracy and shit. So yeah, let's go.
That presents as a sudden allergy to eating meat is starting to become more common on Long Island.
All right, Fox 5's Jody Goldberg breaks down what to know about alpha-gal syndrome and why we're seeing more cases.
Long Island's a hotbed for ticks and more.
Okay, I'm not trying to be rude, but mate, look at this fucking bitch. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but fucking hell, mate, like, she looks like she's a fucking shapeshifter. Like, she looks like she's the fucking part of the Anunnaki or some shit, like, mate. I'm not trying to pause this video too much, but fucking hell, mate, she looks like a fucking agent. Like, I'm just saying this straight up, yeah, like Fox 5. New York Times, Jody Goldberg, she's Jewish as well, so yeah,
Hearing about alpha-gal syndrome. It presents itself as a meat allergy, and it happens after a person is bitten by a Lonestar tick. I'm with one of those people, Holly Raycroft. She says she's an avid camper. When did you know that this wasn't your typical tick bite?
I had been bitten by a tick about 2 months prior, and we had a big pot roast dinner.
Oh my days, bro, look at this shit. Look at this shit, man. What the fuck is this? This shit is making people allergic to eating meat. If you get bit by this shit, if you get bit by this little ass tick, you're fucked. You're never gonna be eating meat again. All that fucking beef burgers, all that fucking chicken thighs, fuck it. You're never gonna eat it again. This is fucked. I don't want to do this video, but hey.
That evening, I started with hives. It developed into breathing difficulties, and we ended up at the hospital.
Holly's allergist, Dr. Erin McGinty, has treated more than 1,000 patients with alpha-gal syndrome.
When was your first case?
So I made my first diagnosis of alpha-gal syndrome at some point in 2011. Alpha-gal is a carbohydrate that's found in all non-primate mammals. It's also found in the saliva and GI tract of Lonestar ticks. So if a person gets bitten by one of these ticks, and if they're in that subset of the population that makes this immune response, the Lonestar tick bite is going to induce their immune system to start making this allergy antibody.
We reached out to the New York State Department of...
Did you fucking hear that? So, if you get bit by this tick, there is a chance that you can be allergic to meat. You will have breathing difficulties. You would have X and X and X. And you're fucked. What are these times, man? Like, what are these times? Like, we are being like fucking like, oh my days, mate. Let me just continue this video, mate. Fucking hell.
So we're told they track several tick-borne diseases, but not alpha-gal syndrome. It's not mandatory, and officials say just because a person tests positive doesn't mean they have the allergy.
A positive test is not the same thing as having alpha-gal syndrome, but it does suggest that there is potential risk in that patient.
What's something that you go through living with alpha-gal that people may not even think of?
How many items are actually processed or made with beef?
Does it ever go away?
If you can go long enough without getting bites, it will gradually go down.
And to avoid tick bites, doctors say use bug spray with DEET and check yourself immediately after being outside. The more you could do, the safer you'll be. On Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
You know what the funniest part is? Like, this bullshit only happens in America. It only happens in America. Like, fucking hell, me. Like, if there's any bullshit that's happening right now, it's always America. When have you heard like some shit going down in China or Japan or the UK or Germany? Like, it's always the same fucking country, America. And do you know what's even funnier? If I search up who is funding lab-grown meat, okay, ignore my spellings, but if I search this up, it basically says Lab-grown cultivated meat is funded by a mix of venture capital firms, traditional meat industry giants, and high-profile tech billionaires like Bill Gates. Bill fucking Gates. And if I search up who is funding tick research, if I click that, guess who pulls up? Let's see who pulls up. Tick research is funded by a mix of government agencies, private foundations, and philanthropic organizations focused on public health, agriculture, and environmental science. Major funders include I don't know who the fuck this is, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, meaning Bill fucking Gates. Again, Uncle Bill Gates at it again, man. At it again. You know, he don't stop. You know, he don't stop. You know, fucking Bill Gates, man. I'm telling you right now, man, people aren't awake enough. You know, they're not. This is why I'm posting videos like this, you know, I can spread awareness, but people aren't awake enough, you know, everyone's so fucking busy on TikTok and, you know, The Boys new season, like, you know, all this bullshit. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about the fucking Lonestar tick. Nobody's talking about the lab-grown meat foundation. Like, how weird is that? That they are literally growing lab-grown meat. What the fuck even is that? A lab-grown meat. But, do you know what? Maybe we should search this up. You know, we should search this up. You know, how is lab-grown meat made? Let's search this up.
The meat of the future will likely be lab-grown. Compared to our conventional methods of getting meat on the table, lab-grown meat, which debuted in...
We're not even 10 seconds into the video and this bitch is like, oh yeah, the meat in the future is likely going to be lab-grown meat.
Doesn't involve slaughtering of animals, nor does it require as many environmental resources. Compared to other livestock, raising cows require 28 times more land and 11 times more water. The World Wildlife Fund adds that beef production drives 25%.
I find this shit so fucking retarded. I actually do, you know, I really fucking do, you know. These fucking, when you talk to these vegetarians, these fucking vegans, yeah, when you speak to them, they're like, oh yeah, but you know, meat, meat uses a lot of fucking, resources like water and fucking grass and, you know, all that bollocks. But, you know, if you're a fucking billionaire, you know, if you're a fucking Kylie Jenner and you're driving a fucking jet, you know, you're fucking traveling to one place to another place, you know how many, you know, do you know how much fucking pollution that causes? Do you know how much it takes to, you know, fucking put fuel into that fucking jet, to put fuel into that fucking plane? Or even fuck that, you know, growing fucking vegetarian products like these, you know, the weird shit that the vegans eat. That requires a lot of fucking resources as well. That requires a lot of fucking shit as well. So this fucking argument of that, you know, like, oh yeah, but, you know, to cut beef and, you know, make beef, it costs a lot of fucking resources. No, it doesn't. You know, it does. But, hey, I don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? If fucking Kylie Jenner can drive a jet from America to the fucking, you know, God knows where, then why is fucking me having a fucking beef burger? Why is that a problem? Why is that a fucking problem? You know, me eating minced beef, why is that a fucking, you know, why is that an issue?
And forestry emissions. And in the near future, lab-grown meat is going to be cheaper, faster, and more environmentally friendly to produce for our growing population.
Yeah, cheaper, faster, and fucking diabolical as well. It's gonna have fucking some weird shit in it, like fucking estrogen, soy, like all that bollocks, you know. Yeah, let's feminize men a bit more, you know. Why not?
How exactly does one grow meat in a lab?
Time to find out.
The process isn't as weird as you might think. Currently, the most successful method involves harvesting stem cells from cows.
Yeah, do you know what she said? Oh yeah, the process is not as weird as you think, and she's fucking putting some bollocks into a fucking test tube. Oh mate, I'm actually tired of this bullshit, bro. I'm actually tired of this shit, you know. These fucking people, man, actually get on my nerves.
Cells are the building blocks of essentially everything, from muscles to organs, from which muscle tissue is harvested from the live animal in what is said to be a harmless, painless procedure. The tissue is made up of muscle and fat cells, which the scientists separate from one another. What we need are the muscles, which are then dissected and cultured. Cell culturing is where a cell is removed from a plant or animal and then put into a favorable artificial environment, usually some type of substrate that supplies essential nutrients like amino acids and carbohydrates to grow. All it takes is just one singular muscle stem cell to grow up to 1 trillion muscle cells. The newly grown muscle cells naturally merge together to form tiny myotubes, which are then placed in a ring. The muscle cell's tendency to contract frequently causes them to grow into a small strand of muscle tissue. The muscle tissue tubes are then layered together to form a hamburger shape.
What the fuck is that, bro? What the fuck is that, bro? Bro, is it just me or that looks like fucking worms? It literally looks like tapeworms. It's fucking weird, bro. This is strange. You know what I mean? You cannot pay me to eat this shit, you know. And this is why they're trying to push, you know, meat, you know, fucking fake meat consumption. Because we're not eating it. You know, we're not going to eat it. And so, yeah, guess what they do? Oh, yeah, let's release these ticks into the wild so, you know, people get allergic to meat. You know, why don't we do that?
One muscle cell has the potential to turn into 1 trillion muscle tissue strands, which is a lot of burgers. The lab-grown hamburgers don't...
Oh, mate, you're telling me, yeah, someone's gonna eat that? This bullshit looks like fucking human shit, bro. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, bro? Do you know what I mean? It looks weird, you know. You know, like, when you see like a beef patty, you know, it looks normal. You know, I've worked at Burger King before. When you see a beef patty, you're like, okay, you know, looks like beef. This bull, like, the fuck is this, bro? Alright, let's continue.
They look like normal hamburgers and are much paler in color and blander in taste.
Wow. So, a regular beef patty is nice, it's big and red, you know, but this bullshit, this unknown lab-grown bullshit, is paler in color, it's smaller, and it's got a shit taste. It's got a shit taste, how convenient. So not only is this fake, not only is it small, but it tastes like shit as well. It tastes like fucking bollocks.
Trade for an efficient way to create protein and feed the world's growing population. The price of lab-grown hamburgers has already dropped from $325,000 to just over $11 per patty. While it is still pricey compared to a Big Mac, which costs $4.79 on average, the price will likely drop in the future as production.
Not only does it taste like shit, not only is it smaller, not only is it fucking paler, not only has it got weird shit in it, but it's pricey as well. Wow, man, you know, it's such a fair trade. It's such a fair trade. You know, do you know what I'll do? Yeah, I'll just stop eating meat. You know, I'm gonna stop eating meat. I'm gonna be eating lab-grown meat. You know, and you know, I'm gonna be fucking drinking Soylent. I'm gonna stop, you know, eating eggs. I'm gonna stop eating everything. I'm gonna stop going to the gym. You know, I'm gonna fucking, you know, I'm gonna be a good, you know, good pet for the government. Yeah, that's what my plan is for the near future. And that's what your plan should be as well. This is what the channel is about, to becoming sheeps. Yeah, that's what the plan is. If you're watching this video and you're like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, that's peak. You know, I don't care. You're a fucking sheep. You're a fucking sheep. If you're watching this video and you don't feel like a sense of anger, you're a fucking bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, they are messing with our food. They are convincing people that their bullshit lab-grown meat is way better than an actual fucking beef patty. They are growing this shit, you know, they are making this shit so they can feed it to you and your children. You know, if you're watching this video, if you know what's happening, and you're not concerned, at least, then, you know, I literally, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. Like, you're beyond help. I know this is supposed to be like a normal video, but like, I'm just saying, you know, you should be a bit concerned, because I'm not eating this, and neither should you. Yeah, someone that I know, he's given me some evidence, you know, of the Epstein files, and basically, it's basically what the diet that they used to eat in the Epstein Island. And I'm going to pop it on the screen right now. And you can just see, are they eating fucking vegan shit? Are they eating lab-grown meats? Nah, it's butter, it's raw milk, it's beef, it's meat, you know, it's just, you know, pure organic foods, you know, natural, you know, everything's natural. And there's no weird shit. There's no weird shit, you know. So, which makes me wonder, you know, why can they eat it? You know, why can the powerful people of this world, why can they eat meat? And why is it a problem if we eat meat as humans, you know? If, you know, it's our human right. You know, we've been eating meat for 1,000 fucking years. You know, more than that actually. More than fucking that. So it's a problem when we eat it. You know, we need to turn vegetarian. We need to turn vegans. We need to eat lab-grown meat. But they can eat it. You know, leave the meat for the powerful people. That's for them. You know, for us, it's this right here. This is what we're eating. Some plastic. We're getting crushed. I'll be honest, our masculinity is being fucking crushed. Soon we are going to be eating this brilliant lab-grown meat, you know, and it's... If you want to survive, I highly suggest you subscribe to this channel. And this is not just, you know, for my benefit, this is for your benefit. Because I'm going to be posting content like this. Soon I'm going to be making my own community, where there's going to be a team, a group of people, you know, a tribe of people, where we're going to discuss these topics and the solution of these topics as well. You know, we're going to be discussing the solutions. But what I'm trying to say is, wake the fuck up. Like, wake up. We need to wake up. Because, you know, a madness is happening, you know, literally in front of our eyes, and we're too distracted by TikTok, by Amazon Prime. You know, we're distracted. We want real food. We want pasteurized eggs. We want raw milk. We want pure foods, you know, we want real food. We want, you know, real meat. That's what we need. We don't want this fucking bullshit. So yeah, this is the video. And, you know, I said what I had to say. Find things out for yourself and wake up a bit more. Talk about this. Talk about this with your family, with your mates. You know, we need to do something. We need to. Thank you very much for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one.